Welcome everybody. This is another great demo we got going with Facebook Live here in Woodcraft in Spokane Valley, Washington. And today we're going to go over some of the great Oneida Dust Deputy products that we got going on. One of the biggest issues with especially small shops and basement shops and even large shops is dust collection and controlling the mess and keeping as much of it contained and not into the air. So everybody's buying shop vacs and dust collection units, and this is a great addition to those to help cut down on the amount of bags you're buying for your vacuum, as well as loss of suction. That's one of the biggest issues with your dust collection units and your vacuums, is that as they start to get full, you lose your suction. So what Oneida has come up with is the Dust Deputy Cyclone. We've got a wobbly table here. And so this guy uses a cyclone action. What it does is all of the product comes in through the cyclone port there, it swirls around. The large heavy stuff that falls out the bottom into a bucket, and then the rest of the air is sent off to your actual dust collector or shop vac. The great thing about that is by taking out about 99% of that before it ever hits the vacuum or the dust collector, you're going to maintain full efficiency from your vacuum. You're not going to have to change bags as often, and things are going to work a lot better for you. So I'm going to give you a quick recap on the products that we carry from Oneida here in the store. There are some others that we can special order, but these are the ones that we carry in store here. And then after that, we'll do a nice little demonstration on the product. So the first one that I have here, this is our basic intro model. This is the Dust Deputy DIY. Now this one will support vacuums and shop vac hoses with 2-inch to 2¼ inch hoses. It's a very simple process. You get a bag of hardware, you get a gasket, you get a cyclone. Most of them are designed, you can get like one of the Home Depot buckets or a Lowe's bucket with a lid. You cut a hole in the top. I like to use silicone because I really like to have some good suction, no loss of air. So I put a little silicone down, I put my gasket down, a little more silicone, and then this guy gets mounted down. And then your bolts and hardware, hold that to the top of the bucket. And that's really it, aside from hooking the hoses up to it. After that, it's very simple. Our next unit is Dust Deputy DIY SD. This is basically the same unit. This one's black in color. The difference is this one will support hoses from 2 inches to 2½ inches. So if you have a 2½ inch hose on your dust collector, you'll want to make sure you get the DIY SD. Now stepping up from there, we do have the models for the 4-inch. This here is the Super Dust Deputy 4-inch. Cyclone only. This is designed to go onto a barrel of your choice. And you can use your large 4-inch if you have like a 1½ horse dust collector or something like that. This is great for that item. Another one we have over here, this is the 4-inch. It actually comes with its own barrel. It's a fiberboard barrel with steel rings on it. Works really well. It's really easy. Just pop the clips on the ring, take the barrel out, go dump it, put it back on, you're back in business and moving. This guy up here is the Dust Deputy Bagger. One of the great things about this, it comes with a wall mount, so you can just mount it right to the wall. And you got the cyclone, and then you just empty the bag down below. You got nice visibility on the bag, so you can see when it's getting full and keep an eye on that. And then you can just go from there. We also offer the 17-gallon steel drum. Now this is the steel drum only. This does not include the cyclone, so that would be a separate purchase. But this gives you a nice heavy duty steel drum. If you have like a commercial shop, you're pretty hard on your stuff, this is going to hold up all the abuse you can give it. We also do have a 5-inch version. It's a little bit lower down below there. In fact, I'll come out here and I'll show that to you real quick. For those of you that have the really large systems with the 5-inch port, Oneida's got you covered. This is a Super Dust Deputy 5-inch. So it's got nice large 5-inch ports on it, and again, you would supply your own barrel. There are a lot of people that like to use trash cans. They'll go down and buy the old-fashioned metal trash cans and convert those over, and they work really well. So I'm going to offload a few of these things here real quick. And we'll just talk a little bit more about how they function and what we can do. So let's move these guys out of the way here. So this unit here is my personal unit. So it's not the prettiest, but as you can see, it gets lots of use. So what I've done here is I actually have a Festool Mini CT15, which actually comes with a plastic hose, which worked out great for me. I was able to just splice right into the middle of it, so I can still use my Festool dust extractor with this unit. The way it works, this unit here hooks up to the dust collector. And then this unit here is where you take your debris and your dust in from. So it comes in through the hose, and there's a cyclone, swirls around, heavy objects are dropped into the bottom of the bucket again, and then the 99% clean air is sent out through this hose to the dust collector. So what we're going to do here is a little example. I'm going to have Joel step in here really close. I want you to take a peek at this vacuum here. So we've got just a tiny bit of particles in there, but it's basically an empty dust extractor. We're going to put this guy up here. One thing I did realize is I believe we're going to have to put this guy down below. But what we're going to do first, I brought in some goodies from my place. So here you can see I actually used a wooden ring on mine, give it a little reinforcement, and bolted it down, and of course I used some silicone on the top. And just spread some dust. Whoop, there we go. I'm going to spread some dirt out here, a nice large portion of it. Got a few different colors in there, so hopefully it'll be more visible that way. Spread that around a little bit. Okay. Then move this over here. Pop it back on. All right. Try it out, sit it down. This is quite a bit of dirt, so we'll see how much we end up with in the vacuum after we're done here. One thing I do want to state is I was really overworking that. You normally would not have that volume of sawdust coming into your dust collector coming off of a normal planer, sander, table saw, etc. So I really worked that by taking that large volume there. Now, with that said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wheel this guy around here. I'll have a little zoom in again. Festool. I don't even know if that's possible. I think there might actually be less in there. That's what the dust deputy does. So now, instead of that bag that you would normally have inside here, filling up with dust and debris, you're maintaining all that efficiency, not changing your bags as often. Now, instead, when it's time to empty it, you simply just grab your bucket, pop the lid off, and then we have a bucket full of dirt that we can empty out. It's just a great unit. Like I said, I love them. I have both a 4-inch and a 2 1/4 inch here that I love. The other thing is, I have a lot of people, talk about cleaning up their floors and stuff. Yeah, you can. To me, I like to use a dustpan just because I don't want to have to empty my bucket any more than I have to. So versus sucking it into a bucket to have to be dumped, I can sweep it into a dustpan. However, works great. One of the things that I really noticed is not just the dust collection itself of keeping the dust cleaned up and away from my tools. My tools run cooler and more efficient because of the airflow going through and being unobstructed, as well as the fact of my air quality. A lot of people are starting to move up and they're using air filtration systems. We got a couple of jets up in here in our building. The one thing you want to think about when you're doing that is the air filtration system is not going to do you much good if you're not collecting your dust first. So I always highly recommend that you have a great dust collection system to begin with, and then add air filtration after that. Otherwise, you can just find yourself changing a lot of air filters that you don't need to do because all the dust that's in the air not being collected correctly. Do we have any questions out there, Joel?
No, we don't. But is there any way that we can show the dust deputy collecting and spinning around in the clear plastic?
Yeah, actually, we can. I forgot. I just had a shorter hose, so let me do this. Let me lift the whole unit up there.
It's just kind of mesmerizing, and I thought maybe the viewers would like to see that in action,
And I actually meant to do that, but the hose was too short, so I left it down there.
And I know you meant to do that. That's why I just brought it up.
Calling out right now, right?
No, it's not a call out.
Reminding me.
Reminding. A friendly reminder from a friend.
Okay, so plug this guy back in here. And go ahead and dump some more out. Yeah, Oneida really does make a great product. I've been super happy with it. Some people may notice there's actually 2 buckets here. These are so efficient and the suction is so well, I actually run 2 buckets to keep from caving in from the suction. They're that efficient and airtight on them. So yeah, it's just a great unit. That was part of the reason I got some of this nice gray and brown. So we'll do this again, and this time we'll get to actually see it running through the Cyclone. As I try to put it on the floor again. All right, so. Here. All right. I'm going to turn this around and get the logo out of the way and we'll go. So hopefully you can see the straight clear. There we go. All right. Well, let's hang 10 and let her rip. All right. You watch the bucket, the summer suction is very efficient. Out here, and here we go. Pretty cool little cyclone there we got going. As you can see, it's actually cycloning down into the bucket, avoiding the output over here. by going heavy, you can really see that going down into the bucket. We basically run about 5 gallons worth of dust and debris through this now. About a half a bucket each time. I'm not kidding, I think it's getting cleaner, really. That's all that's in there, guys. It's that great of a system. So, you know, when you go and you buy these, you know, dust collection bags and you put them in there and you think, well, God, I gotta keep buying these and replacing them. You're not going to have that issue anymore. I had a rigid shop vac before I got my Festool, and I had a bag in there. I ran mine, and I have a cabinet shop. I do a lot of production work in there. I ran my system for 2 years. And in 2 years, I might have had 2.5 cups of sawdust in there. And part of that was my own fault. One of the things that you do got to remember with this, it's a machine, and it only does what it's told to. So if we don't keep it empty, as the dust bucket fills up and gets full of sawdust, if there's nowhere for it to go, more of it's going to go in there. So you want to make sure you're paying attention and getting your buckets emptied on a regular basis. I kind of just do it on Sundays now. That's my day. I just keep it empty, and everything works great. So like I said, if those 2.5 cups, probably a cup and a half at least, if not 2, was my own fault for not emptying my bucket correctly and keeping it empty. Any questions now?
Just one from me. You're using the Festool. Is there, can you use just any shop vac?
You can. That's why we have the different dust deputies. So again, the DIY, which is the clear one that I showed you here, that will cover shop vacs and dust collectors that go from 2 inches to 2.25 inch. If you want to be positive, just get the DIY SD. It's a heavier duty plastic on it, and it also covers all the way up to the full 2.5 inch hoses. So you'd be able to do anything from a 2 inch to a 2.5 inch. From there, it steps up to the 4 inch system. So that should keep you covered on just about any device you have. You know, for those rare items out there, there's always adapters that we can try to help you out to get you dialed in. But I can't say enough about the product. I own them personally, and I swear by them. It's just a great addition to my shop and the cleanliness of my shop.
So if it's like, if I wanted to go to my shop right now and do exactly what you did with the Homer bucket, I got the lid, I got the bucket, 2 buckets because the suction is so powerful. What size hole am I drilling, and how would you drill that?
So the size of the hole is literally that size right there. So it's about, let's say it's about 3 inch hole there, maybe 2.5. Let's see here. 3 inch hole, nailed it. Yeah, so you're just gonna cut that size hole, and then you lay this down as a template. Go ahead and drill holes for the bolts to go through. They're just quarter 20 style bolt nut washer. And like I said, I like to add a little silicone to mine to prevent any air leaking. And just sandwich it together, bolts it together. Like I said, one thing I have done is I cut out a plywood ring that was the same size and shape as this gasket to give a little more reinforcement. And what's that for? Let me grab this here. If you have older buckets or they're food grade buckets that are a little stronger, you do not have to do this. But these, you know, $3 buckets with the, you know, $2 lids they're pretty flimsy. So when you're putting this on there, you know, they just like to really flop around a little bit. By adding that ring there, it gives it some real durability to keep it from coming apart or falling over. So that's the reason I put that on. It has nothing to do with the actual functionality working and dust collection. It just keeps it more rigid and upright that way. It gives it a little bit more durability.
Now I'm a wood turner, And so I can see how this really works really well with a cabinet shop or whatnot. Well, let's say I'm turning a lot of acrylic. Will that machine be fine for acrylic? You know, because it comes out into a ribbon all over the place. And would that clog it?
The only restriction you're going to have is the hose that you're vacuuming with. So if it will travel through your shop vac hose and you're not clogging up the shop vac hose, you're not going to clog this guy up. It really runs through well. I've cleaned up after my acrylic turning many times, and I haven't had any issues. Again, like I said, I do the bulk of my floor with the dustpan, just because it's less times I have to empty my bucket. However, around the machine, it's great. It sucks it all in there and gets it down. There's not any small ports. There's actually, you know, the 2-inch port on top and the 2-inch port on the side, and that goes into a large cavity. I don't know if this actually, I don't think those pop apart. So I don't know if you can kind of see in the bottom there, it's a very open area. There's not a lot of things for it to hang up and get restricted on. Generally, when those curls are getting caught up in your dust collection, is generally there's either, some dust collectors have crosshairs on them, and these are to stop big chunks of wood or other items from flying into your impeller on your dust collector and doing damage. So this doesn't have any of those, and that's generally where those curls get hung up. And it just takes one and then two, and the next thing you know, you got a little cobweb of collection there. It's not going to happen here unless it's going to fall to the bottom. And you know, the larger, heavier ribbons is just going to make it that much easier for them to fall down to the bottom.
Well, fantastic. We don't have any other questions. So
these are, you know, come on down, see us. We'll help you pick out the items that you need to get you set up and going, and we'll go from there. So come on down to Woodcraft Spokane Valley on Sullivan and Sprague and check out what we got. Look forward to seeing you next time.
thank you, Ed.